Hi everyone, I'm Zihao. I'm currently working in TL at NTU. I work as a research assistant. I've been working here for nearly 2 years. Before that, I interned for Dr. Cheng for about 6 months before enrolling in my PhD course. So far, I'm involved in speaker verification under short utterance and a few more couple of projects. I started in 1 2 1 3. Did 3 years of my honors program before coming here and interning for you. So yeah, so I've been here for what, 5.5 years, 6 years. Yeah, I stayed for half one semester. That was my year one, sem one. Stayed in hall 7. Yeah, I bunked with my friend, my roomies, my one of my best friends lah. Hall experience. I hated living in hall because I have to wash my own clothes and yeah, there's nobody cook food for you lah basically, but you learn to take care of yourself like you do in army. And but the good thing about my hall experience was that hall 7 is really close to my then school SPMS. It's really close. It's about 100 meters away, so I could wake up late for school every day. Yeah, but that was just for the first semesters. And then after that I moved home and I realized that it's better to stay at home. I was in the army from '09 to 11. Yeah, after that I came out of work for a few years before coming to NTU. Uh, so I was a third sergeant for the first year in Pulau Tekong. I was well, actually the first half of a year I was a trainee, of course. Then after that I moved to the advanced section leader course. I got my sergeant rank, and after that, what happened was I was posted to BMTC. So I'm a Tekong sergeant, and I spent actually the second year being a platoon sergeant. So don't know much about being a section commander. Yeah, so 1 year as a platoon sergeant on Pulau Tekong. That was my second year commander phase. Is currently ever my batch was 1 2 3, the fourth batch to be 2 years, to just serve 2 years. Fourth batch to serve 2 years. So which means that before me, the 1.5 years ago was still 2.5 years of national service. So now it's 2 years, but if you're fitter, you serve 1 year 10 months. That's known as the enhanced phase. Enhanced phase meaning that you pass your NAFA, but if you're like me and fail in NAFA, you have to serve 2 years. It's called the PTP, which is the pre-training phase. You go in for 2 months earlier, and you clear your IPPT, and then you start the regular training with the rest of the enhanced guys. Then after that you go to the same courses and everything. If you're not fit, of course, it's definitely a good thing. Besides, the enhanced people, they have to acclimatize really fast, and unlike us, we can spend the first 6 to 8 weeks acclimatizing to all the route marches, all the weight, and all the physical strength lah that's needed. And but enhanced people, they have like what, 3 weeks to acclimatize to the army environment before going on their first outfield and everything. We had like 9 weeks of training before going to outfield. Big mix of soldiering skills and physical training. Yeah, but from because enhanced phase onwards, they assume that you are fit, so after that the physical training will be greatly reduced lah. You focus on training to the basic soldiering skills, and yeah, all the outfield sit tests and everything. Oh, um, so once you go in, you have to get used to waking up at 5:40, falling in at 5:45, which means that you wake up earlier, right? That is if there's no morning training. So you fall in at 5:45, you have your breakfast by 6:30, have a breakfast by 6:30, and normally before 7 o'clock, which is the first parade, 6:30 to 7 o'clock is area cleaning. After first parade will be your inspection. After inspection, then will be your 8:15 will always be the first lesson. Yeah. Then after that, the whole depends on the schedule. But if you, let's say you have a early route march and everything, you wake up at 5:15, and then everything will be brought for about half an hour, and then you start the day at 7:45 instead of 8:15. 7:45 you start the route march and everything. If you have morning trainings. No, no. Well, yes and no. Initially, it is definitely a waste of time, but um, as it's good to wake up earlier, lah, so you got more time to do area cleaning, lah. Yeah. Especially in my company, in my time company, Viper company, very very strict about area cleaning. Yeah, because back then, things such as change parade and tornado, the punishments were not phased out yet. So what happens is that now such punishments are not allowed anymore. So we were really scared of these punishments, so we will wake up earlier to do area cleaning. Yeah. Oh, okay. So change parade is basically you keep falling in different type of uniform within a short period. So let's say 1 minute you go up, you change from admin to full battle order. Then from full battle order you change back to admin. Then fall in swimming trunks. Then go up again, go up, come down, go up, come down. Basically, it's a tekan session lah for about 10 minutes. But it's enough to check out the entire platoon. So it's very tiring. It is very very tiring. And after the change parade, because when you keep changing clothes, right? So all the sergeant will give you like 3 minutes area cleaning and then inspection. So you have to put everything back, fold your uniform back again, everything. So what usually how the session will go is they ask you to fall in admin, then they ask you to fall in long 4, then from long 4 change to smart 4, right? Then from smart 4 change back to the falling in swimming attire. After that, falling in the gas chamber attire. So a gas chamber attire is of course the so it's a very funny attire. It's admin with boots. Yeah, it's a very funny attire, and then after that go back to admin again. So it's very tiring, and end of the day your bunk will be messy, and you have a few minutes to clean it up before the next inspection. So it's basically to check you out, and we are scared of it lah. So that's the one. The tornado is let's say suppose you didn't clear out the rubbish, right? Your bin is not cleared out, so those same rubbish will be all over your bunk. Yeah, that's it. It's even worse. Yeah. Yeah. It's people buy sweet drinks, Yeah, then all over the bunk, then you need to clean up. It becomes worse. So we are really afraid. We got it once before, cause someone didn't clear the trash, and we were afraid of it lah. So we always wake up earlier to do area cleaning. When I was a commander, yes, we also do the same thing lah. Basically, we sort of it's sort of a tradition. You have to find because here's the dirty secret, right? Is that you always find things to clean. Right? It will never be perfect, right? But that's the whole point of area cleaning. The lesson is that you life will always give you problems, right? Right? No matter how much you clean up, you'll always give you problems. So the soldiers must learn is that as commanders we know places that you don't clean, we will always find problems for you. So, but the lesson learned is still that you have to try your best to clean the place. Well, I suppose it's more of SAF PR more than anything. Yeah, you have to put yourself in their shoes, right? In our shoes, of course, we think that it's it's good training. Um, train up your how to say your soldiering attitude. But from their point, the higher ups, of course, they are more concerned with the PR, with the the population, right? The public, and these kind of more archaic kind of approaches, of course, is not well received lah. In our modern society, where we have a society where parents don't really cane their children, right? Of course, they don't like the army to do this, right? But when we are doing it, end of the day, we make better soldiers. It's undisputable. So, but of course, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of the SAF lah. They end of the day, if really anything happens, we are answerable as well. So. Well, when we were commanders, that's still quite some time ago. It's 5-6 years ago already. So back then, we faced out quite a lot of things. Things like something called can't remember, BAT or something. Battle inoculation. Oh no. First part of the battle inoculation course, because it's really not really useful. What happens is that we focus the most important, one of the most core skills a soldier should have, is of course handling a rifle, and that alone will take 3 to 4 weeks of basic training, right? All the way from handling, let's say, stripping, assembling, IA drills, and then from going to the we call it the aircon range. Is basically the simulator range, right? To the actual range itself. So this is one of the core skills. Now, after the soldier acquires the skill to handle his weapon, he must learn to fight. So the next step in BMT is, of course, to learn to do something called the battle drills, right? You learn to move. You learn to move in wartime, and then upon contact, how you do, how you fight on a section level. And after that, if you lose, how do you retrograde? How do you retreat? So all the drills the soldiers must know. So this is then the last 6 weeks will focus on all these things. I think it's really enough. Especially with um um we this has been taught through many years, and it's been streamlined extremely well. Right, the basic skills is that the soldier must handle the weapon and know how to fight in formation. Yeah. Then after that, of course, all the rest, the rest of the little things like drills, upkeep, and all these things. Of course, we have to learn on a daily basis. But yeah, the actual fight itself is still out there. But of course, there's one more modification is previously for the past 10 years, the SAF has been doing is because previously we have been focusing a lot on conventional warfare, right? Fighting in the forest, the jungle, plantations, and everything. But these few years we realized that the basic soldiering skills also have to encompass another form is called the urban training. This urban training wasn't taught in recruit times, in BMT, because it was considered a special thing in the past, right? But now, with the increase of terrorism and everything, there is a need for domestic fighting skills. Yeah, we used to call it FIBA. Now it's called urban ops. Yeah, FIBA is a really old way of saying. Yeah, now it's called urban ops. But during my time, we still call it FIBA, and the training ground was still called the for FIBA. Yeah. Yes. Yes, but we don't train there because it's on Tekong. We don't train. But the Neo Tiew, that area is for CISPEC and OCS lah. Uh, let's say well, let's start with 2.4 first. 2.4, of course, is a PT thing, right? It's a physical training thing. It's really just for stamina. But of course, if you can clear 2.4 fast, it suggests that you have a good stamina. But of course, we as commanders we realize that there are two kinds of fitness, right? There's physical fitness and there's combat fitness. Combat fitness suggests that how well you function under duress and load. What it means is that when you put on the helmet, all right, everything goes out. No matter how smart you are, everything goes out. Everything drains from your brain, right? You put on the uniform, you put on your SBO, you put on your load. It puts on a strain on you. So that's where the combat fitness comes in, right? So you can have a very good physical fitness, but you may not last in a fight, right? So that's where the rest of the training comes into play. Things like route marches. Route marches, of course, why you march with load is simply because it's to train your combat fitness rather than your physical fitness. Again, it depends on your type of course. For me, PTP, you have more route marches. You start off with say 2-click, then 3-click, then 4-click, 8-click, 16-click, 24-click. PTP, pre-training phase, the ones that don't do well in NAFA. Everyone has 24 clicks, but the enhanced they don't have something called a what is it called, acclimatization march, something like this is where we as PTP soldiers, because you're physically weaker, so they assume, of course the assumption is that if you're physically weaker, of course your combat fitness is also not there yet, so they acclimatize you by marching you shorter distance for more times. So we had a lot of those 2-clicks, 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 3-clicks, 3-clicks before marching our first 4-click. If you're an enhanced soldier, if you come in and you pass your NAFA, they'll assume that you have a certain level of combat fitness, so you start with 4-clicks. Yeah, and yeah, it's good and bad, depends on the batch itself lah. Well, the official standard, right? Official standard, if I'm not wrong, is 1-click 5 to 10 minutes. Right. So 4-clicks is definitely below 40 minutes lah. Yes, we definitely need water breaks. Yeah. Every 2-click, you need a water break. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is not about resembling real situation, because after all this is still BMT, right? It's still BMT. What happens is that BMT, as much as we punish them, we still want them to survive, right? So you can see 2-click and then water parade is overcompensating, but you need it because again SAF is comes a bit kiasu lah. Anything happens is on our hands. So this is basically to prevent heat stroke and everything. Yeah, it is not meant to simulate wartime. All these will come during ASLC, right? When they send you into 9 days outfield alone. Of course, then you drink whenever you want to, right? Tactically, of course. But as a recruit, right, you are supposed to keep you alive. So yeah, 2-clicks every. Oh, ASLC is way ahead. That's after your BMT, after your basic section leader course. That's during your advanced section leader course. Yeah. 2 months. For enhanced soldiers. For PTP, it's 12 weeks. Again, it's definitely the combat aspect. Yeah. The combat aspect will be like route march, basic soldiering skills, weapon handling, fighting in war. We call it section movement lah, and platoon movement. And after that is these are all the basic things, and urban warfare. Yeah, field camp is basically to sort of they definitely need field camp. It's sort of a way to quickly teach a lot of skills, to a lot of soldiering skills to the soldiers. Well, previously my time was 7, my recruit time. Now it's 5. It's 5. Because of all the training and more efficient training, they can cut down 2 days lah. But the 7-day outfield is really sort of something that we work towards to slowly. It's not easy. 7 nights as a recruit, I can't really remember. Oh, okay. Of course, we will. That's where we start to train lah. all the skills, all the actual skills after you know how to handle a gun. So first few nights will be about route march. You march to destination. You build basha. Basically we sleep in these miniature tents. So how do you build a basha? That's where you teach you how to build a basha. Then after that, the first day, then second day we do section movement. We teach you how to fight in section level. Then we teach you how to do platoon movement. Then after that we teach. Meanwhile, every day we still maintain certain things like discipline. We still do everything. Wake up 5:45, eat breakfast at a certain time, do the first parade, and then after that we break and we learn the things. Meanwhile, so this is the third day will be platoon movement, section movement. Then after we learn how to move, we learn how to handle our weapon, we learn how to tactically walk on during war. Then we learn how to attack our objective. So how do we do that? In order to attack our objective, you need to learn how to do a bunch of administrative stuff first in the field, right? In the field. For example, you need to learn how to talk something called talking a map. It's where you wrap the map with like the plastic so that you can write on it and then the map doesn't spoil. And then you need to brief all the you learn how to give briefs, right? Let's say you want to attack an objective, you have to teach the soldier which aspects of the things you want to brief the entire platoon and entire section. So you learn to do all these things on a few days. After that, you learn how to attack an objective. There are a few things after this as well. Yeah. 6th to 7th. It depends. It depends a lot. I didn't know this as a recruit, but as a commander, it depends a lot. First, it depends on the weather. Second, it depends on your CO. It depends on after your CO gives a general period where you can go for outfield, right? Then as a company, this is entirely from a logistic point of view. Is that where are the campsites? Different companies will be fighting for the same campsites because certain campsites are better, right? Then after you fight for the campsite, right, you have to share it maybe with some other company. Then you have to figure out your logistics. If the logistics doesn't work out, you still have to postpone, right? So it all depends on whether or not everything works out well. Good soil, not muddy, close to not too far away from the main company line. Because behind the scenes when the recruit are training, we'll be ferrying a lot of things, right? Water supply, food. Every day we'll be ferrying food supplies for the commanders lah. For the recruit will be eating combat ration. Yeah. Then after that, in the middle, 7 days, third day there's something called resupply, right? Resup. Then we have to, if it's too far from the company line, right, things may start to go missing, and we don't want to do that. And as commanders, we want to be at it as close as possible to the company line, so we can go back and bathe and then come back, right? So there's a lot of the main thing is closeness to company line, type of ground, right, and type of shade, and whether or not we can from there access to the several terrains that we want to go to. Yeah. If there are several sites, one of them is really far away, close to the beach, the beach of Tekong, which is which we call it the actual name is Tekong Kecil, which is the small Tekong. Now that place, because it's close to the beach, right, the place is very soggy, hard to build anything. The recruits suffer, right? They'll be wallowing in mud at the end of the day. Right. But this is a good training for recruit. But the thing that we don't like as commanders is because under such conditions, yes, recruits lose things easily. They are shacked, right? After 7 days, they are shacked. So we also don't want this to happen. But imagine if you have a nice, clay soil place, right, where the basha is built nicely, you can dig fire trench, shell scrape nicely, right? Then it somehow it serves as a better morale for the recruits lah. So we try to fight for the better sites. But this cannot be done on a sergeant level. The ones that fight for will be OC, PC. They have to do it. Sometimes the OC piss off the CO or something. They get a really shitty date. They get a really bad campsite. Yeah. Then everyone suffers. From everyone, sergeant or below or sergeant. So the book out timing itself will always be on Friday or Friday evening or Saturday morning. Again, this depends on the company, right? So usually, let's say you book out at 6:40. Tekong has a last ferry at 6:40 p.m. Right. After that, all companies book out at the first fast craft, which is about 5:15 or a.m. But nobody takes 5:15 because it's impossible to fall in 5:15. So we take maybe about the 6:30, 6:40 fast craft out in the morning on a Saturday. So this is the usual timing. The booking, of course, is Sunday night. Yes, you lose one night. So again, why some companies get to book out earlier, some companies get to book out later, it's all because of the OC and whether or not we can book the fast craft. We are fighting against 24 companies to book the fast craft, right? Sometimes we get a good timing, we get an earlier fast craft. We do book way in advance, but all this is done through bidding, and this is done by CSM, right? Again, if the CSM is not on the ball, right, then all these they just kill all the lousy date. Then the company will book out on a lousy date. Yeah, so sometimes let's say a warrant company, warrant company means the company doesn't have officers, they only have warrant officers, right? A warrant company usually have a lot of welfare to the recruits. So what they do is they're very on the ball about this, and they'll always try to find the best book out dates for the recruits. Oh, so there's a dichotomy. There's a dichotomy. Is basically a warrant company is known as the welfare company towards recruits. They treat the recruits very nicely. They teach them patiently. They train them normally as a soldier. But in a in an officer company, the sergeants have all the power, right? Yeah. But the daily time, the PC and sergeants will have a lot of power, and they usually we abuse it, which means that we are very strict on our recruits, and so we are not known for the welfare that warrant companies have. Yeah, so it's a very fundamental difference between a warrant company and so from a sergeant's perspective of a sergeant, right? Now all the warrant officers are what 40s, 50s, right? Senior warrant, first warrant, second warrant, they are all sergeants before. So basically, they are really old people. So if you're a spec, right, 19-year-old punk, you go in, right, really you'll be afraid of them, and your 1 year there will probably be not as good as your fellow spec who is in a officer company. Why? Because the officers are also 19, 20 years old, right? It's only the OC that's old, and the CSM. So, but the CSM is like what 25, 26 or so. It's not that old, but some of them, of course, they're 40 lah. But then, of course, the life of a spec in a warrant company is really different because the power doesn't lie with you, right? You cannot punish the recruits anyhow because warrant officers are there. And the warrant officers are all, first of all, they are all full-timers and they are all long-timers. Full-timers means they if anything happens to the recruit, they kena. They will handa kaki, right? So they don't want you to cock it up. So your life will be difficult. But if a PC, right, in an officer company, the PC ORD maybe 3 months earlier than you. Or 6 months earlier than you. Then another new PC come in, then you ORD earlier 6 months earlier. But the point is they are same level on you. They are on level with you. And basically you're friends, and then you can you discuss, and then you don't care about so much about the safety of the recruits. Whereas in an warrant officer company, they are very very particular about this. Yeah, they don't, because they are regular. They don't want any stain on their record. The OCs are regulars, right? But to them, it's not like a warrant officer, right? Let's say a senior warrant, right? Is in his final days already, right? So they are there, like it or not. So this is their record. But for a new officer, surprisingly, right, this is their something called rotation. They need minimum 4 years to 5 years, right? So they themselves, they are not as garang as the senior warrant officer. I don't understand why. They just give us a lot of leeway. But the senior warrant officers, they tend to take things closer, and you cannot do a lot of things. You really cannot do a lot of things. You cannot anyhow punish the recruits. Yeah. You cannot shout at the recruits for no reason. You shout, you sign extra. So it's very different. So now I can give you what's happening now, but I also can give you what happened during my time. During my time is there are two schools, and before I left, they had a third school, right? So the two school first, we call it school one, school two. I was in school one, and school one ranges from A company to K company, and then L company all the way to W company will be in school two. No, ironically, school one is the one that's furthest away. My company, K company, excuse me, the last school in school one, right, is the furthest away from the jetty. And the one that's really closer to the jetty is school two. So you have L Leopard all the way to Whiskey Company. So this is then after that the third school was built up. So it's called the Yankee Zulu. That's school 3. It was in the old CISPEC grounds. Back I was second batch, newer batch to have my CISPEC in Pasir Laba, the camp that's close to NTU. Before that, right, CISPEC was actually also on Tekong. Oh, really? Ah, okay, that is even the older one, the little older one. So for about 15 years, right? Yeah, CISPEC was on Tekong. That's where the Rocky Hill. Yes. If you get posted to CISPEC, right, you're basically like shifting like 2 clicks down the road and going to a new camp there. Yes, it's very terrible. Imagine, right? Imagine you were a recruit, posted to CISPEC, come back as a CISPEC sergeant on Tekong. You don't leave the island for 2.5 years. You don't leave. Basically, you are there for 2.5 years. No. I was in Pasir Laba. So Pasir Laba, before Pasir Laba was also, yeah, you're right. Right, it was for this. It was really old. It was like 70s. And then they revamped it and made it some tactical combat unit and you know. Then after that, in 2000, oh gosh, I can't remember. 2008 I think, or 7. The Pasir Laba camp from Tekong moved back. The CISPEC camp from Tekong moved back to Pasir Laba camp. So before that, during that 15 years, the CISPEC was actually on Tekong. Yeah, you're isolated basically. You're isolated, and all the training is come back. But of course, staying on the island of course it feels like a real soldier lah. But basically it's the isolation. And if you live in the west side like me in Choa Chu Kang, if you book out, you need to take 3 types of transport, right? 3 types of transport. You take a fast craft, you need to take a train and take a bus. So it's very cumbersome. It takes like 3 hours to reach home. So you don't want to book out. So you stay on the island, and of course you have to save money lah. Everything. Yeah, we can sometimes as commanders we don't book out. You're just too lazy to book out. You rather wash your clothes, hang your clothes, then you go back bunk to sleep or sleep in the office with aircon, because it's so tiring. Back and fro is 6 hours. 6 hours. You do it 50 weeks. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it, and then you rather stay. You think about it, right? You go out, also nothing to do. Your friends are probably also tired, right? Okay, if you like me, I don't really like to chiong, so I stay in our office. I got food to eat. All right. The canteen is not open, but we over the years we put all the Maggi mee, all the gochamba, all everything, all the canned food, all in our office. Everything is closed. Everything is basically a dead town. Then except for the 12 COS from each school, which is 24 COS, the company orderly sergeant. No one else is there. No one else is there. No. Cookhouse, yes. Yes, now it's catered. SFI, Singapore Food Industry. No, the supplies they bring once in a while, but they'll cook there. The chefs, those men, they have to travel lah. I mean, the chefs have to come, and then they have to stay there maybe overnight if they have to cook breakfast. Yeah. So yeah, this is over the weekends there's nothing there. Okay, this is quite fixed lah. In recruits, right, 50 per platoon, 4 platoons, so it's 200 recruits at any point of time. Then the numbers will just keep falling from there. Staff wise, it varies. Tekong is consistently understaffed, right, because they can't give us full STEP. Now, okay, on paper I can tell what should be the STEP. So 1 platoon, 50 men, right? 12, 13, 12, 13 means 12 plus 13, 12, 13, right? 4 sections. Each section, 1 SecCom. So you have 4 SecComs. 4 SecComs, on top of 4 SecComs, you need 1 PS and 1 PC. Platoon sergeant. Right? So the platoon commander, platoon sergeant, 4 section commanders. So you need to have 6 people looking after 50 men. Right? That's it. Right? Then, so how many commanders will there be? So at the end point of time, there should be 24 commanders, because 4 platoons, each platoon have 6 commanders, so 24 commanders, 4 PCs and 4 officers, and the rest are all sergeants. It all depends. It varies with the individual PCs themselves. I was very fortunate and unfortunate. Fortunate in the sense that there are certain officers, right? They really don't care, right? Because they just want to know. They just require you to know your role. This is you do this, we're done, right? We're still friends. Doesn't matter, right? Certain PCs, of course, they are more. They draw the line. Right? They don't mix with the sergeants and everything. Yeah, they're also NSF guys, but that will be the awkward part, right? That will be the awkward part. So, yeah, sometimes it all depends on the personal people, yeah. But this is on paper, 24 commanders, but usually we have about 16 to 15. No, we have 4 section yeah, 3 section commanders, or and 1 PS. Then the PS would become a section commander also. Double up. So which is me. I was PS4 and platoon 4 platoon sergeant, and I was also section 4 commander. Yeah, so we are constantly understaffed. Yeah, and in that's just the training part, right? We still have our store. Our store, yeah, we have a CQ, 2 storemen, but we usually don't have CQ and 1 storeman. Okay, so what happens? If the recruit OOC out of course, then become temporary storeman, right? Then one of our sergeants will have to become CQ. Right? So he not only he's a SecCom, he also have to take on CQMS the job, no choice. Then that's just the store. Then you still have your armory. Your armory, you still need you need 2 weapons, one armor IC and 2 IC. So how? Don't have one. So another double up. So for me, I was a PS, I was a SecCom, I was also armor 2 IC. One of my same batch, my fellow guy, sergeant. He only SecCom and the IC lah. Yeah, so we have a lot of hats, right? Because we are constantly understaffed. The arm squad the arm squad IC have to open. Or if he cannot open, DO have to open, but the arm squad have to be there to sign. So together they have to. So what happens is the DO will call, right? In the I coming over to your company at what time? I come here at 6:15. Oh, okay. Then he comes, you have to be outside the way, outside. So we rotate me and my friend. His name is Joseph lah. He sometimes Joseph will do it. Sometimes I will open. Sometimes he open, I open. Just opening also, of course, close also lah. Yes, he has to check. Check the locks, check the magazines, check the bayonets. You put in stacks, right? Then you count the stacks, 255. Must count one. He really no. It depends on the SDO. If the SDO rabat one, I see people never mind. Never check one, just sign only. I saw one SDO come in triple S admin with sandals, right? Wear the DO, no, damn funny. Come in, open arm squad. Yeah, so lazy. The guy is so lazy. Lieutenant, what's his name? Yeah, cannot. First lieutenant. They are like, yeah, but there's a lot of duty as an arm squad IC, especially because you're handling the weapons. Yeah, so it's not only just the sign in sign out. Every day the recruits will send arms, draw arms, and that one also is very challenging because 200 rifles, right? Go out, you need to account for every one of them. Yes. Now the live firing just a side note. Live firing has been taken over by Cisco. We commanders don't do live firing anymore. We don't. That means that we don't sit down and then plan when to draw rounds, what to do, what to cordon. When we reach there, we clear the arms and everything. No. Now we don't do it already. Everything is passed to Cisco. So what we do is that as commanders, they are just in charge of bringing the recruits there, passing the recruits over, handing the rifles over, and then the Cisco people will conduct the range. Now they don't do anything. They just step back. This everybody this is good. It's good. But that's why the expenditure go up because you have the highest Cisco people. Yeah, but it's safer also. And now this is now. So last time yes, it's safer because the Cisco people are more vigilant in a sense, and they know what to look out for, because after all they have been doing this for 15-20 years, right? We we have taken batches before lah. Of course we also know lah, but we're definitely not as experienced as them. And they teach this, they do this for a living. They are professionals. Where would the soldiers cock up? Because recruits when they are tired, they put on a helmet. You really don't trust them with a rifle. With rifles with rounds, right? And we are. This is not my job, to be honest lah. As patriotic as I can be, I don't want to die during a life, right? So one of the most dangerous things is because the recruit doesn't know how to handle the weapon properly. Yeah, sometimes they didn't hit the target, right? Then they'll turn to you and, Sergeant, why I never hit the target? Then their rifle also never point to the rifle butt. Then they just swing. Of course, it happens every batch. It always happens because recruits are not used to handling live rounds. You see, and during that time, we as commanders, we know exactly what to look out for, right? The blur guy, the bobo shooters, everything. And worse is, of course, if we things happen, like for example, rifle. Of course, the chamber explosion is the absolute worst that can happen. But usually, if your FFF fit for firing, the cert is cleared, you're safe. As you fire the round, ignite in the chamber, it doesn't come out. This is catastrophic because the face will be blown off. This is the final thing that can happen already. But so far there's like just a few, that happened. But it's not even close to our years lah. These were the earlier years. So now there are a lot of steps in put in place to prevent this from happening. That's why you need to have all the certs, right? All the Cisco also will come and inspect the rifles, right? Yes, after every batches. Yes. Yeah, they'll twist, they'll check the firing pin, they have to check all the chamber, everything. Make sure everything fires. If those rifles they are not good, they'll take away. Then your FFF, your fit for firing cert will have all the rifle butt number, serial number, and say that this rifle are under repair. Yeah, and then you can't use those rifle. If you use rifle, is your daiji already. Yeah. BMD is basically two, only two, only 2 to 3 depends on again PTP or enhance. Enhance is only 2, PTP is 3. It depends. We don't there's a TSR. I can't remember the clause. TSR is a training safety regulation. Is that you don't give them more than 8 rounds. 8 rounds, yeah. But you have day shoot, night shoot. Yes, you have to have night shoots. Yes. Now, last time don't have this thing. Protocol, I'm not sure. Protocol. Oh, intercom last time no, don't have. Yes. They have the special foam material behind, right? That will catch the rounds. And all the material surrounds everything. Yeah. Ricochet. Yeah, you're not ricochet. It's very, the way they do it is very smart. That's why Cisco has invested a lot of money. You can tell. You visit the facility, you can tell that they do this for life one. They are very professional about this. Right? You draw rounds, when you go into the facility, you are given something like a card, right? This is your identity card. Right? You draw rounds, you use the card. You send rounds, you use the card. You give survey, you use the card. You want to go anywhere, you punch. You keep tapping the card, right? So they can, first of all, the card, everything is good, right? You track the movement. Of course, then after you collect rounds at time. You see your rounds correct, you tap, and send rounds at time, you tap. So it's very and everything is very clean, right? The best thing is because we don't need to collect the rounds as commanders. Last time we finished the range at 10, we go back at 12. Why? Because you need to clean the range, ma. The recruits reading, but commanders have to check, ma, right? Ask the recruit go out, take the rounds, come back, right? Now we don't need. That's why they can cut the training time. These things are to the upper management, right? These things, to the upper echelons, they don't find that collecting rounds is a waste of time. You need to. So if they want to streamline anything, this will be the first thing to go. Of course, it feels like it doesn't. The recruit is not doing much things, right? Yes, yes, I agree. But of course, if you want to talk about efficient soldiering, like 4G army, right? The 4G army, 2G army, 3G army, 4G army, then of course they will think that these collecting rounds is like waste of time. But they still have to learn to collect, right? So what they do is they compensate and say that instead of collecting after every range, you give them this experience if they go to command school. Right? Command school, command school we have the section course, right? That you have to fire. And that don't have aircon one. Which is very close to NTU, which is TP2, right? It's next to that. That's where they fight, and then they have to collect the rounds, and then of course it's a trade off lah. That you give them this experience lah. Not because it don't make it a chore. Like after every live firing, you ask them to collect. From my point of view, of course, I think it's of course wow, my days so much harder. But then of course it's better training for them lah. It's no. Because in place of such things, right, the recruits have to learn to do many other things. Of course, they don't learn to pick but what they do is that they have to learn other soldiering skills. I heard that they learn a bunch of other stuff. What is it? Can't remember. There's this new syllabus I saw because I had reservists like 1 month ago. One of the finale was to go back to our Tekong because my batch is most of them are 50% of them are going to finish already. This is their 10th cycle. So they decided to send us back to Tekong, and we saw a training schedule there to sort of final time lah. This is known as the NE trip lah, National Education Trip. So the bunch of us, we went back and we went to visit our old company lines, go into the office, and yeah. Yes. So Tekong sergeants are very sad because we don't have a combat unit. So we created a few combat units just to put Tekong sergeants inside. One of them is my unit, 803 sir. So a bunch of us, we know each other. Yes, there's no men. There's getting more and more men. So my platoon, right, my reservist platoon, 21 people, 3 corporals, 1 lance corporal. Excuse me. Yeah, then the rest are all sergeants. So the bunch of us, we went back to Tekong, saw this special training that they don't do a lot of what we do. They like camo on. They learn a bunch of other skills. Like last time with our camouflage, right, is camo on or everything. Nowadays over a couple of days, they learn all the proper camo techniques. Because it's in accordance with the new uniform. Yeah. Used to wear the old one, but now phase out already. Excuse me. The patch one, dark. Yeah, which we wore. The new uniform, is thinner. More of course that it becomes it's a bit of dry fit material, so it's absorbs sweat really well. And on top of that, there's a Velcro in the middle. They sacrifice two buttons for the Velcro, so you can take them off easily and then put it on easily. So yeah, it's definitely an improvement. It's definitely an improvement. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. I don't see anything bad about it. The old uniform is uh yes, yes, it's very heavy. I was about to say it's very heavy. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. After all, it gets very smelly, especially outfield. But this one, this new uniform is better. But it's easier to it dries easily. It tests easier. But the new they don't use SBO. They use LBV. So it's sort of like a jacket, right? It's called a load bearing vest. It's a vest. So what happens is you put on the vest and you sweat underneath, and you cannot, the sweat doesn't evaporate easily. Yeah. So it's sort of yeah. So it becomes useless again. But for us, our time we still use SVO. So the uniform thinner and wear the SVO. And then it's still we can still can it's very good. You find that if you use SVO, it's very good. Yeah. And yeah, the uniform is good. Yeah, but the new boots are not good. So yeah, the Gore-Tex, the old boots I had, I wish I still had my one from Recruit, because but they say they had to do a 1-for-1 trade in. Then I had to let go of my boots. My boots never spoiled before. We have two pairs. We have two pairs. One of them is Parade, and the other one is. But I do trade in both. The other one I throw already. Throw already. Yeah. So waterproof, and it's virtually unbreakable. I never break. It doesn't fall apart. Whereas the new one, instead of sewing the soles and the boot, right, they glue it. And rumor has it is it wasn't very good glue, and it fell apart easily. So we changed. We complained, and they offered to change. And now the boots is getting better. The quality is getting better. Yeah, but I just wish that they hadn't used glue. They just use sew it together. It's better. Yeah. Okay.